All right, my check 1 2 1 2. Yep, we are live. So we are up and at it again. It's another new week. We're not gonna keep things fancy or nothing like that. We just got to talk about what's really happening. We still got Strait of Hormuz. Like, how many times have we said Strait of Hormuz this this year? Like, how many times are we gonna say Strait of Hormuz this year? Every Sunday is some brand new Strait of Hormuz news. Um, from what we know, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. But then supposedly Trump says it's not. So I mean, it's bad enough that you done made $1.6 billion off of rug pulling America, off the coins that was out last year and a whole bunch of other stuff. And now it's like, bro, like, can we just trade? Like, can we just trade in peace? Like, I'm not even we're not asking for much, are we? We just trying to trade in peace. But hey, good Lord. All right, so basically what's happening is uh there's been some attacks. I believe Iran launched Gulf attacks on the Gulf states. Let me make sure I read this correctly. Let's go to Reuters. So Iran expands attacks on Gulf states after U.S. strikes, um, and Strait of Hormuz is closed. So U.S. says it hit hundreds of Iranian. No, I'm not subscribed. All right, we leaving this website. We out of here, guys. We out of here. We out of here. Not paying for another damn subscription. Golly. Everything always happens throughout the week too. That's another thing. So U.S. insists Strait of Hormuz remains open despite Iran's declaring it closed as strikes escalate. So, sheesh. So these are the strikes, new strikes on Iran amid battle of wow over Strait. Wow, that's crazy. Sheesh. 140 targets. Oh, this is crazy. How would the Strait be open? How would they be demanding that the Strait open? Look what he said. He said we bombed the hell out of them last night. They're very evil people. Good Lord. And sick people, he says.
But despite the intensive U.S. bombardment, Iran's showing no sign of backing down. The Revolutionary Guard launching attacks of its own against U.S. allies across the Gulf, declaring the Strait of Hormuz is shut and will remain closed until the end of U.S. interference in the region. Central Command insisting the strait is open for transit, but it's unclear if ship captains will risk running what is now a gauntlet of fire. Maritime data shows just 21 ships transited yesterday, still just a fraction of the pre-war average of around 110 ships a day. Iran says it will control the future of the strait along with neighboring Oman, a demand the U.S. says is unacceptable. Pakistani officials who brokered last month's memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran tonight appealing for calm, as the Middle East appears to be spiraling back into full-blown conflict.
Raf is joining us now live from Jerusalem. Raf, what else are we learning about this latest wave now of U.S. strikes?
So, Hallie, Central Command says these strikes were launched after Iranian forces once again opened fire on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They say U.S. warplanes have so far shot down an Iranian cruise missile and a one-way attack drone, but there could be more to come. Hallie.
There could be more to come. All right. Well, that only means one thing. Gold has tried so hard to actually want to buy. Like, we've seen gold make several attempts to really start buying in the month of July, but every time we made it to areas of supply. I mean, throughout the weekend, you'll hear some crazy news and then we're back selling. I will say, like, last week was a bit tough, but partly some of that is my fault too. It was so crazy that I recognized something that I haven't seen in a long time or haven't paid attention to in a long time, and it's the power of three. Um, Back in the day, I used to learn about the three waves from Steve Morrow, and that was back in 2016, 2017. And it's when the market drops the first time, retraces, drops the second time, and gives the last drive to demand or supply, and then reverse. And truth be told, like on Wednesday, by the time the market did drop to demand, I forgot that usually by the middle of the New York session is when I should anticipate a reversal. That would have been a great trade called, but that's neither here nor there, right? Um, then we tried going for buys on Wednesday night, and price was right around here, and I thought the buys were secured. And they sold one more level before buying. And so because they sold one more level, I was already over it. Um, I also went to sleep because it was just too much. My mind was fried, guys. And it didn't help that I woke up for London and they already did the pullback by like 1:30. And I was like, yo, you can't make this up. Can't make this up, man. It's like playing cat and mouse with gold. And so when Price bought, Thursday came around. Thursday Thursday night, I think we tried to sell. Market bought again. It was just a mess. And normally Asian session is not too bad of a session for us to trade, but they were throwing everything at us. Not to say some people didn't make money, but we still caught some trades at the end of the week. But I wasn't fully satisfied of the performance. We also called sells on Friday morning, and then price for the most part, some people actually got stopped out, even though, um, and some of my and some brokers like the market just reached 107 and then fully dropped. It dropped quickly towards yesterday's low, which was Thursday, and then they bought again. Sometimes when there's just too much chaos going on, it only makes sense to just trade by 11. Market tends to pull back and retest uh, early session hour lows, and so this is why I called a buy. And by the time price kind of started playing around here, I said, okay, let's get out. And then I believe by 3 p.m., price retested this low again, and then they bought. And I felt bittersweet about it until Saturday, or was it Sunday? I heard, oh, well, the U.S. is bombing the Strait of Hormuz and stuff. And I'm like, well, we're for sure probably going to open with a gap. And here we are today. So, what's really good for this week? Truth be told, we'll have to be very cautious. Have to be very cautious. Um, I didn't mean to delete that. But we can tell the market wants to sell, right? We just heard that, like, until further notice, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed off, but there's still, somewhat activity going on with their allies, allowing them to pass through. So if we get a break in retest, we already have a break. I'm beginning to wonder if New York or London is gonna give us some sells, 12:30 a.m. London session after that. We'll look out and see if there's some opportunities to the downside. I don't think it would make sense for anybody to force it right now. You know, that'll make no sense. At some point this week, if this gap get filled too, we'll have to look out for some buy side liquidity, um, just in case. Like another thing too. Last week, I feel like we wanted to capitalize on the week so bad, myself included. Some of those movements that the market just kept on stopping me out, it made me actually um go on slight tilt. I overtraded. Like I tried my attempts a little bit more. Um and then I was looking out for a GA, and GA just was just doing whatever it wanted to do. Some of the entries were nice, but I would catch them late. Then finally, Wednesday, Asia price bought, and I was like, wow, okay. That just reminded me sometimes we just have to wait until the middle of the week for the move to play out. Um, Tuesday we had conversations about Nasdaq, and throughout the week we also saw price drop again, second wave, drop on the
What
third
about
day.
Wednesday?
So once again, the power of three wave drops. Sometimes we forget that also is a thing in the market. We're not typically looking for that, but it helps to pay attention and remember when we're seeing the market is selling and falling back into 4 hour demand, even in the afternoon by like 12:30, if we're finally reaching demand in the middle of the week, the afternoon reversals, we have to remember we can catch those as well. This was a beautiful break and retest at the area of interest. And from there, they bought. Um, Thursday was also not too bad. We had a retest of London borderline, and that was an opportunity for buys too. Uh, but sometimes these weird wicks, man, if you see them, just show up an hour later. See if prices is gonna come back to retest it. Show up by 12. Like my most profitable hours of execution usually is after 10:30. And to be honest, guys, like if I'm entering a trade sooner than 10:30 sometimes, like I get cooked, especially when it comes to like Nas, US 30. Like, yeah, I've never really had much luck most times. They'll couldn't what's the word I was gonna use? They will change the whole scenario on you, bitch. Yeah, so going forward too, like especially while we're in the summer, I'm definitely gonna be trading a little later, and that probably will allow me to send out more consistent signals that are hit versus like me being iffy about the trades. Period. Okay. Now, so far this is the most recent demand that we have. So we're definitely gonna be pulling up in New York tomorrow just to see like if price comes back up to retest those highs. That'd be a sell opportunity. Or we might just ignore the market and not trade as much this week until we find really like better setups. We just basically filled the gap here for Nas, and price is selling. So far, that's all we have is information. Going back into gold here. Price opened right here. They came back to retest. And we got areas of rejection all over. This is not clean price action for me. I'm not the type to pursue those sort of setups. The market done already threw so many of us for a spin. I'm not about to sit here and give the market more opportunities to confuse me even more. All right. Adaptation is cool, but sometimes certain market conditions just ask you to just trade less. But since we are definitely like in bearish environments, I think we're gonna go ahead and retest 4,037 once again. And I wouldn't be surprised this week if somehow we end up going down to retest 3970. But at no point, if any of those zones do get hit and we didn't catch the sell, don't get upset. Don't get upset because these zones are also hot demand zones too. They'll touch them, they'll reach those zones. And the same way we saw a lot of sells, and then towards the middle of the week, we see nasty, nasty, beautiful buys. All right. So I'm not even going to try and be hasty this week, man. What we find is what we find to the best of our abilities. And yeah, we're definitely gonna be cautious this week. Cautious this week. What pair are you guys mostly gonna be focusing on this week? Or what's mostly your interest this week?
What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro?
I'm good. Yeah, basically, we'll just be looking at good
Yeah.
with a lot of patience, because it's not really giving right now. Like
Hmm.
the way the market, the price action is just more printing out. It's not giving
Right.
to really get an entry. Yeah, because basically, we think we want to starting the bullish run, but it just keep going ups and down on there. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit is demoralizing. I can't lie.
Okay.
It's like there's not one time frame you've missed. You did your top down analysis. You done
Mm-hmm.
looked at this market from months and months before, and you're like, okay, finally, we're starting to see buys.
Yeah,
And
exactly, exactly.
next thing you know, oh, the weekend, the Strait of Hormuz, bomb strike, yeah, home. Like, fuck, bro.
The whole world is changing everything. Like
Yeah.
it's just basically fundamentals right now.
Yep. It's definitely driven by fundamentals for sure.
Yes,
Yeah. But I'll still be cautious to not be super negative about what's possible. Sometimes, we
absolute.
can discourage ourselves with the way we talk. This week, we do have core CPI. And, with core CPI, you just got to trade after core CPI.
Mm,
Yep, 8:30. Okay, cool. Wow, we finally have core CPI back on Tuesday. Okay, so normally core CPI, you show up. If prices retesting, let's say a London low, and then core CPI is coming, hey, trade at your own risk. We done caught
mm,
some really nice setups sometimes. trading at the open, of course, CPI. But of course, CPI usually plays out very well too after the fact, like an hour and a half later, 10:45, 11 Eastern. And then we see good setups and we take it. Like I honestly am over the market trying to like bend over backwards. Uh the setups that we find is the setups that we find. What's up, Quells? We're win or lose, this shit not gonna break our spirit. Especially when we know like we are in the middle of summer and August is right around the corner. Holy moly. August is really right around the corner, guys. It's for sure gonna be better market conditions. Just gotta keep that in mind. Brother Joe, what's up, man? It's been a while.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm doing okay, brother.
It's been a while, man. I'm back. I'm back in the DMV, so
Mm, I figured so, bro.
I'm off travel.
Wow.
A whole year travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm back. Uh, T still been trading every day, but now I'm back. I'm back trading. So
Okay, that's good. That's good.
yeah, I might see you next weekend. I'm gonna call you when I'm down
Oh, wow. I thought you said you was done traveling.
there.
Wow.
I might have to make one more trip.
All right, man. Let me. Oh, wait. I actually will be in Maryland on the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a wedding to go to.
During the week. It's like a Monday.
Yeah.
If you are there, we'll link.
Yeah, bro.
Definitely a
Just
link.
fly into the DN. I'm flying out of Ronald Reagan, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know, man.
My boy Phil is getting married. The same guy you dropped me off at his house that one time.
Oh, yo, he getting married?
Yeah, he getting married. Yeah.
Okay. How you feel about the roller coaster of gold?
Oh my goodness, how I feel, man. I feel. I've been feeling. I felt, and it's been tough, man. Can't lie. But
Okay.
then again, like we'll catch some setups. It's just like, damn, it's just not always consistent. But the later we trade, the better. Like when this happened, I was a little pissed. But Friday, I was anticipating sells. It started selling, gave a usual break and retest, and then it started doing this dance again. I'm like, I know you want to sell, but why you gotta do that? They pushed
Right.
back up slightly, and then the same setup happened everywhere. This was US 30. Yeah. And then price sold. I remember Emmanuel was like, yo, why?
Yeah, it's 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 a setup for a major
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta trade 11 a.m., bro. 10:45, 11 a.m.
Yep.
After the noise is done. See if
Right
there's
after the noise is done.
yeah. See if there's any retests or anything like that. And then you just call it a day. I normally do like later into the day just so I can get fresher areas of demand or supply, just so I can minimize my risk and go for trades like that. For example, we called this beautiful trade Friday. It went for 156 pips, and then it started retesting 830's highs. Let me go to M30 time frame because, yeah, there it is. Yeah, when I called this trade right here by 12, it went to retest this 8 a.m. high, and then I started seeing rejections right around there. I was like, all right, guys, let's close that trade. And then of course it pulled back, but then 3 p.m. they retested that same zone. Mind you, if I had like open this trade, called it again, and you know, hold on to it until the weekend, ah, Sunday would have been a whole nother story again. So sometimes you're pissed that the market didn't do what you needed. Other times you're relieved that you didn't stay in because it's a new narrative week by week. So it's like, yo, I guess we're just gonna have to just be cool either way. Mm-mm-mm. So let's make sure we keep this area marked up because that was the market open high. Last week when we were last week when we were live trading on Sunday, uh I remember we were looking at price action over here, right here. And so we caught these buys. As soon as it made it to market open highs again, I thought this was just a slight pullback. And they sure enough started selling. And that's because it came from a 4 hour supply zone. And lately it's like gold sells even better than it buys. It'll buy up to 4 hour highs. And no matter how aggressively bullish that candle was, it turns into an exhaustion candle. So, we gotta look out for those too. Gotta look out for those. But yeah, I could see 4,000 getting retested or even lower than that, 39.70. And so by the time we get to um CPI on Tuesday, we'll see how price behaves. But for the most part, I might be focusing more on US 32, bro. Like, uh, if gold is doing too much, hey, it's gonna have to be US 30, man. Like, for real, for real. Thing is chewing up my edge. Takes a lot of commitment and courage to show up to even do these webinars or even call trades these past couple of days, and can't even lie to y'all. But resilience is in our blood, so we keep doing what we do. All right, so when it comes to US 30, I definitely see us selling. This was Friday's low where it wicked it out, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, yo, bro, have you noticed like US 30 don't move the way it usually move way back? You feel me?
Nah. Nothing is moving the way it used to.
Damn, that was just changing, bro.
Yeah, but hey, 4 hour demands is still slapping though. You know, price will make it to these 4 hour demands and they still buys. So just got to be careful. Yeah, it is a season. Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking for sale on US 30, like
Yep.
going back all the way to that week.
Yep. Let's see if there's any retests. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're going to map out our potential sell trades, but we're not gonna take the trades. We're just gonna see what London does, along with along with pre New York. My guess is we're gonna go and retest this area of interest again. Probably sweep up, give a break and retest on the M1 or in the M5, and then continue to sell. I believe the same play might happen for Tuesday too, so I don't mind seeing Tuesday retest Monday highs, and then we see what it does. I'm probably gonna go back into some of my old notes on core CPI just to be better prepared. The back of my mind already kind of telling me, hey, make sure you check your old notes. Hmm. But yeah, that's basically it for me, guys. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a waiting game. It's a waiting game. All right. You guys got any questions? How's everybody really doing, man? Like I know this market been pretty tough, but
Man,
It's tough, but it's manageable.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree.
It's just part of the game, you know. We just gotta wait for the right move to make.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to sit on my hands a lot, so
Hmm. No skill unlocked.
you know, if you don't sit on your hands, you can take some trades that ain't worth it.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep. GJ been having the ball. It's right back at a 4 hour demand zone. So for those who do trade GJ, that would also only mean one thing: showing up in London is your best bet. It looks good. Shoot, even right now it looks good.
Hans,
Yes, yeah, man.
Hans.
Yeah, talk to me, close.
Oh, oh. Does your wife watch Love Island?
She did watch Love Island, some watch party with her friends the other
Oh
day.
wow, yeah. So she deep in it.
Not really though. She was actually asking a whole bunch of questions just to catch up. She
Oh,
really went there for like just to hang out with the girls and stuff.
okay, okay.
SB, you here? You out here watching Love Island, Brody? Ah, yeah, of course.
SB, you watch Love
You
Island?
got put on to Love Island. Yo, if a brother tell you he watched Love Island, listen, it wasn't by his own will. By the third episode, watching it with your girl, all of a sudden you in that bit. All of a
No,
sudden
Love
you into
Island.
it.
Love Island is pretty interesting. When I first got into it though, I was just like, so y'all just out here kissing any and everybody? Like that's just what scared me. But
Hmm.
besides that, like it's an interesting show.
By the third episode, you went too deep. I seen a couple scenes. I'm like, nah, I ain't finna sit here and watch this. If I do, I might get some ideas. Just gonna leave it alone. Man, SB, I knew it, bro. Got pressured.
Yeah, the season finale is tonight. So,
Oh, okay. Wow. At what time?
I don't know that. I literally just go to Peacock. and see
Oh,
if they posted it or not yet. So
yeah. The only Love Island I've been watching is Gold.
I don't think Gold is called Love Island. I think you got to come up with another name.
The island that me and Gold has been in, the love and hate relationship. Oh man. Nah, I'm
Yeah.
babe. Supposedly it's a Love Island finale tonight. See, she not in that deep. She ain't even know. She said, I've heard. Mhm. Yeah.
How Nas been looking?
You said what?
How Nas been looking?
She was sexy last week. No, no cap. I'm mad I missed it. Um, going back about Nas, right? We were anticipating buys. That's what kills me. We were anticipating buys. Even on Tuesday when Telly was in the chat, I'm like, well, they probably selling to buy. But then the day I needed to show up with full lucidity, ah, go like go wore me out. And so I remember seeing this sell right here, and then they bought early, and then they sold at market open. And that's after that, I was like, ah, man, I even got the mental capacity to. Then I totally forgot on the third day of the last drop. You got to show up, and by 12 p.m., you need to be looking for the reversal opportunity. So, once again, it's a fresh reminder. We never stop learning. And that's just it, man. That's just about it. So this week, let's see if like core CPI is just gonna like buy back above this high, sell, respect, and potentially buy. Who knows, right? Who knows? You might miss the sell. You might miss the beautiful sweep and stuff, and then price, towards the session finds the demand that they want to from like let's say last Thursday or something. And then you just might end up catching a beautiful buy opportunity in the market by Wednesday or something like that. Says, hey guys, false alarm. Strait of Hormuz is back open. And all of a sudden, bullish candle, engulfment, new high. And you're like, what the hell, bro? So it's just keep your options open, guys. Keep your eyes open, man.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it look this week.
Yeah. Let's see what other news do we got. We got court PPI the next day, of course. Uh yep, court PPI the next day. And then we got Fed Chairman Warshield testify. I don't know why, but he'll be saying whatever he gotta say. Month over month
Mm-hmm.
GDP. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for the week on the fundamental part. But if there's any sort of news outside of that, um, yeah. I just want to have a great week this week, man. That's really all I want. I want all of us to have a good week above everything else. But that's it for me. We'll show up, we'll follow up, and then we'll see what it do. All right.
All right.
All
All
right,
right, y'all.
bro.
I appreciate y'all showing up.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too. You too.